Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is running into this crucial line on the price chart in the immediate short term, and it's just about to wipe out this massive area of liquidity that we need to pay attention to. And this is happening while the US stock market is set to have a bullish open to the week, while Ethereum is just now confirming a new breakout above this important level of resistance in the immediate short term, while XRP is still playing out this shorter term bullish divergence. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, we need to take a quick look at the US stock market, because as of recording this video, it's only minutes before the stock market opened. So by the time you're watching this video, the stock market's most likely already open by now. But basically, we can see here in the pre-market that the US stock market, this right here is the S&P 500 index on the 1 hour time frame, is currently trading well above the previous candle close for obviously the Friday trading day. And so obviously this means that the stock market is set to open in the bullish direction, with so far starting off as a green day. Of course, throughout the trading day, that could possibly change, but so far so good. Stock market is continuing this bounce that we did start to see more recently over the last few trading days here. So now obviously beginning the further recovery, or continuing the recovery, I should say, out of that previous pullback, which once again, at least in the shorter term, is good news for crypto. So keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today on the weekly time frame, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the red, indicating a larger bearish trend or a larger correction. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin price chart, technically speaking, we still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for that's already been playing out very nicely here over the last couple of months or so. So keep that in mind. Obviously, still pointing towards a lack in bullish momentum on the larger time frames. Remember, understand the difference between the different time frames. This is not a short-term signal, but what is at least a little bit more of a shorter-term signal, not necessarily an imminent short-term signal, but a smaller signal than on the weekly time frame, is of course this bullish divergence on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart, which already confirmed, which I'll talk about in my last video. I talked about that in my last video, obviously already confirmed with that latest 3-day candle close here, confirming lower lows in the price and higher lows in the 3-day Bitcoin RSI. And the last time we confirmed a bullish divergence on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart was all the way back here around start of April this year. So obviously it's been quite some time since the last time we confirmed this signal that just now confirmed on this time frame for Bitcoin. So overall, once again, this is pointing towards a bit more of a bullish relief as a very likely scenario. As always, no such thing as a 100% guarantee, but very likely we are set to have a bit more of a bullish relief in the coming days or weeks. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, obviously we can see that shorter term bullish relief is of course also a bounce from this important level of support, still acting as support, a Fibonacci level of support, which is sitting at around 85 to 86,000. So continue to expect support in between 85 to 86k. And as for resistance to watch out for, now that we're continuing the shorter term bullish relief, bouncing back towards the upside, obviously look at this area as resistance, really in between around 92,000 to 94,000. Expect a lot of resistance in that area. But if we're zooming further into the short term, we can see in the imminent short term here on the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, we also have this ascending line on the price chart, which was previous support and more recently is acting as a bit of a resistance in the shorter term. And as of recording this video right now, we are currently testing this line, and that's currently sitting at approximately 90,000. But as I've already talked about over the last couple of days, it is actually quite likely that soon we'll see a move beyond 90,000. And honestly, it is quite likely that in the next few days, in the next week or so, it's likely that we will see another test of this important area of resistance here, once again in between 92,000 to 94,000 as massive resistance. And then of course there is a strong possibility, a strong probability that we could see obviously a lot of struggle or possibly another rejection from that area in between 92 to 94k. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can still see a lot of liquidity building just above the price of Bitcoin. Obviously, I've already been talking about this over the last few days, predicting a slight bullish move coming very soon towards this level, which so far is playing out exactly as predicted. And obviously this liquidity is still sitting at roughly 91,000, really in between 90.8k to 91.1k. So once again, roughly around 91,000. We do have a decent amount of liquidity right there, obviously helping to draw the price towards that level on the price chart, because often, not always, but usually these areas of liquidity kind of act as magnets, pulling the price towards where we have a lot of liquidity. And so keep that in mind. We have this shorter term bullish divergence. We have liquidity pulling the price towards the upside. We have the larger bullish divergence. We have a bounce from support. All of these shorter term bullish signals pointing towards most likely a bit more of a bullish relief coming in the next few days or possibly weeks here. And especially as the US stock market is obviously flipping more bullish in the short term, that's also helping the overall crypto market flip more bullish, at least in the short term here. So that's why I've been saying here in the short term over the last few days, it is quite likely we'll continue a bit more of a bullish relief, and most likely very soon see another test of this area of resistance in between 92 to 94k. And obviously, if you want to take advantage of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto to trade these moves and profit from these moves, you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange. And if you use the first link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, that first link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the Pinex crypto exchange, where you can take advantage of some major bonuses that are only available using that link. For example, if you make an account using that link below the video, simply complete KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus on your Pinex account. And on top of that, there's deposit bonuses. If you deposit as little as 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus on your Pinex account. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. So basically a bunch of free money from the exchange, which you can claim using that link below the video to Pinex. But unfortunately, if you don't use that link, you can't claim any of these bonuses here. It's only available if you use the link below the video to actually make your account. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up ready to go using that link to take advantage of these bonuses here. But if you want a no KYC crypto exchange to also place trades on that also has extra bonuses, then check out the second link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, because the second link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the 2bit crypto exchange, where you can also take advantage of exclusive bonuses that are only available using that link. And on top of those exclusive bonuses, there's also currently an event running where there's trade protection and a trader recovery fund. And so as you can see here, during this event, if you're making an account using the link below the video, you have loss protection for your first 7 days of futures trading, up to 200 USDT in trial funds. And on top of that, if you're getting liquidated over 50 USDT during this event that's running right now, then you also may be eligible for recovery compensation up to 1,000 USDT, depending on your liquidation. And so once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well take advantage of this. Check this out, second link below the video. And remember, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and overall, at least in the shorter term, the Bitcoin dominance is continuing the slight bullish trend. So obviously we are looking slightly more bullish than bearish, but with that being said, we don't have a significant amount of bullish momentum towards the upside. So overall, I do expect very similar price action for a lot of the major altcoins out there as to what Bitcoin is doing, but potentially a lot of the altcoins may be slightly underperforming Bitcoin. So Bitcoin doing a little bit better than a lot of the major altcoins on average, but overall quite similar price action is basically the current situation. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now the price of ETH is potentially starting to break out back above this Fibonacci level, which is sitting at specifically around $3,040, but really in between around 3,000 to 3.1k. We potentially still have resistance within that larger area right there. But if we continue the breakout beyond 3.1k, in that situation, we'll likely see a move beyond 3.2k, potentially up towards around 3250, give or take, as another potential point of resistance to watch out for. And above that, I would expect more resistance at give or take 3.4k. And it is worth mentioning that just recently over the last few days, we've now officially formed another higher low. We now have 3 higher lows on the price chart, or technically 2 higher lows if we're not really including the first one. But either way, this is of course a change in the price structure compared to this, of course, previous bearish price structure, forming lower highs and lower lows. And so this is a sign that the trend is potentially starting to change on the larger timeframes here, talking about the larger trends that play out over multiple months, not just short-term price action. So keep that in mind. The price structure is starting to change in terms of the larger trend here, and that will especially be the case if we start breaking out above these highs at around 3,500, give or take. That would be extremely bullish for the larger price structure, the multi-month trends. But for now, taking a look at the shorter term here on the 3-hour Ethereum price chart, of course, over the last few days, we've continued to perfectly play out this shorter term bullish divergence as predicted. Like I've been saying since all the way back down here, we're most likely going to see a bit of a bullish relief moving forward over the next few days, possibly even over the next 1 or 2 weeks, if of course Bitcoin plays out something similar. And since I've been saying that back down here, of course, we have been seeing that exactly as predicted, just a slight bullish relief with a bit of sideways price action in between. This is the most common outcomes, the most likely outcomes from a bullish divergence. And obviously over the last few days, over the weekend, we also had a lot of resistance right here, sitting right at that $3,000 level. So if we're talking about the shorter term levels of resistance, we have obviously just broken out above 3,000, which is of course a bullish signal in the imminent short term, heading towards the next short term resistance, which right now is potentially sitting at around 30.60. But if we break past that point right there, the next short term resistance will be sitting at around 31.50. And we also have to be aware that the 3-hour Ethereum RSI, as we can see right here, is starting to get quite close to overbought. Now, it's not there just yet, which means technically we still have some more room towards the upside in the immediate short term, but very soon, if this bullish price action continues, most likely within the next few hours or in the next 1 day or so, very soon we could hit overbought. And of course, an overbought signal means we've just gone too far to the upside too quickly in the immediate short term, and we need a little bit of time to cool off, maybe for the next few hours or days, because remember, this is only talking about the short-term moves, the small time frames. But overall, once again, short-term situation, while the bullish divergence is playing out and while Bitcoin and the stock market's continuing the short-term bullish relief, overall things are still looking more bullish than bearish, at least for now, for the next few days or possibly weeks. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the daily time frame, of course, right now Solana is following the rest of the market with the shorter-term bullish relief, also thanks to this bullish divergence, which already confirmed over the last few days, as I talked about over the last few days, confirmed bullish divergence with lower lows in the price, and of course higher lows confirming in the RSI. And so as usual, this bullish divergence means we're most likely going to see either a slight bullish relief or maybe just a bit of choppy sideways price action here and there as the most likely outcomes, the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence. So overall, that's still my expectation for at least the next few days, quite possibly the next 1 or 2 weeks. That sort of time frame, we're likely going to see a little bit more of a break or a relief from all of this larger bearish price action. And as for support and resistance, those levels have not really changed all that much over the last 1 day. Of course, over the last 1 to 2 days, we actually retested this level right here after we broke out back above that level, which is sitting at $124. So that is now once again acting as support, which is good news that the price has reclaimed 124 and is now holding that as support again. So once again, support at 124, also more support at around 115 to 117 if the price were to actually break back below 124, but that's the immediate support at 124. And as for resistance to watch out for, expect potentially some resistance at give or take $130, but the next significant area of resistance to watch out for is in between around 143 to 147. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, technically speaking, despite what happens on smaller time frames in the shorter term, we still have this massive bearish divergence on the weekly XRP price chart, which is technically still active. This is still influencing the price on the much larger time frames. Remember, this is not a short-term signal, so we can see short-term bounces and bullish reliefs here and there that can even last for a few weeks during this multi-month pullback that is really a result of this much larger bearish divergence that I actually warned about many months ago all the way back here. So technically speaking, this has not gone away over the last 1 day despite short-term bullish price action, but we are still running into this massive support here at around $1.80. So keep that in mind. That's really the final significant support before potentially much lower prices on the larger time frames. But if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart, if we're talking about the more shorter term situation, of course, we have this smaller bullish divergence that already confirmed, as I said, over the last few days, which means most likely over the next few days, most likely in the next 1 or 2 weeks, that sort of time frame, it is very likely that we're going to see a bit more of a bullish bullish relief. At worst, maybe a sideways consolidation, but most likely a bit of a bullish relief, some more slight bullish price action within the next 1 or 2 weeks is a very likely scenario. Once again, I've already been saying that over the last few days and is already perfectly starting to play out as predicted. And really the next major target for the price of XRP, first of all, we do have potentially some resistance at around 195, but the next major resistance is really in between $2 to $2.05. And above that, I'd expect more resistance at around 215 to 220 and massive resistance at close to $2.30, really at around 227 to 228. And once again, we still have significant support at approximately $1.80. So keep that in mind if we were to see any little pullback again. But once again, overall, I do expect most likely a bit of a bullish relief just in the shorter term, but also be aware that we can see bullish reliefs that can even last for a few days or even a couple of weeks during the much larger bearish trend. So at least for now, we've not yet confirmed the end of this larger bearish trend. We're still technically forming lower highs and lower lows. We've not yet confirmed any reversal out of the larger bearish price structure, but the short-term situation for the next few days or 1 or 2 weeks, once again, is likely going to be a bit more bullish. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a very similar situation for Chainlink. As always, Chainlink and a lot of these altcoins follow very similar price action to each other. So the bigger picture still not looking all that good. We're not in the clear yet if we're talking about the larger structure, but the short-term situation is of course playing out a shorter-term bullish divergence already confirmed over the last few days, with lower lows confirmed in the price in the candle closes and higher lows confirmed in the daily Chainlink RSI. And so once again, like I've already been saying over the last few days and throughout this video as well, we're most likely going to see either a slight bullish relief or at worst a sideways consolidation, but most likely a bit more bullish price action to come in the next few days, most likely in the next 1 or 2 weeks. That sort of time frame is very likely for Chainlink as well. And the next massive resistance to watch out for is really at around $13.30 to $13.50 approximately. So keep that in mind as we get closer towards that level. And if we actually fail to break out above that level and see a rejection from that level, we also have to be aware of the risk of a possible head and shoulders pattern that's currently possibly forming right now, but not yet obviously confirmed. And if the price of XRP actually breaks out above around $13.50 and holds above that level, of course, that would completely invalidate the formation phase of the pattern and would be a shorter term bullish signal pointing towards the next resistance as the next target, which would be at just under $15 at around $14.90 to $15 as the next target if we first break out above around $13.30 to $13.50. And so overall, those are my expectations and the key levels and the key signals to watch out for Chainlink and all of these crypto assets. And remember, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim the massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can trade crypto no matter what the price is doing here, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen, because the video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.